because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada.
Welcome to Pearls of Time. Recently, President Donald Trump made headlines with a bold suggestion. Why not unite the US and Canada into one country? His comment, sparked by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's resignation, raised eyebrows and reignited debates about North American unity. Trump's remarks, alongside his past musings about acquiring Greenland or questioning global treaties, reflect a broader reality: the potential reshaping of global geopolitics and international relationships in the years to come. Today, we dive into the historical, cultural, and geopolitical reasons why the idea of a US-Canada merger remains a fantasy. We'll also explore how proposals like these often mask deeper, strategic interests. Let's uncover the complexities of this enduring partnership and the forces that keep these two neighboring giants distinct. To grasp why the United States and Canada remain separate, we must examine their contrasting historical journeys. After the American Revolution, the former British colonies south of the border broke away to form a republic. Meanwhile, the Northern Territories remained loyal to the Crown, preserving their British identity. This loyalty profoundly shaped Canada's governance and cultural values, setting it on a different trajectory. During the 19th century, as the United States expanded westward under the ideology of Manifest Destiny, annexationist ambitions occasionally turned toward Canada. However, the Canadian Confederation of 1867 solidified the nation's autonomy under British oversight. These diverging historical paths created distinct national identities, reinforced by Canada's prioritization of loyalty to the Crown and collective governance. Despite sporadic proposals for unification, most notably during the War of 1812, or among annexationist factions in the 19th century, Canadians consistently resisted. Their commitment to preserving a unique identity, alongside pride in their multicultural ethos, left little room for the idea of assimilation into the United States. One of the most significant barriers to unification lies in the fundamental differences between the two nations' political systems. Canada operates as a parliamentary democracy with a constitutional monarchy, represented by the British Crown, while the United States functions under a presidential system, emphasizing separation of powers. These structural contrasts reflect broader political and cultural divides. Canada's multi-party system fosters compromise and collective responsibility, while the US two-party system often highlights individualism and adversarial politics. National policies further underscore these differences. Canada's publicly funded healthcare system is a national point of pride, contrasting sharply with America's privatized healthcare model. Similarly, Canada's strict gun control laws stand in stark opposition to the US's deeply entrenched gun culture. Reconciling these systems would require more than legal adjustments. It would demand a seismic shift in societal values and governance philosophies, a challenge unlikely. Cultural identity forms another formidable barrier. Canadians often define themselves in contrast to Americans, emphasizing values such as inclusivity, diplomacy, and a more reserved approach to national pride. The distinctiveness of Quebec, with its French language and culture, underscores Canada's internal diversity and further complicates the idea of unification. On the American side, values of individualism and exceptionalism dominate, sometimes clashing with Canada's collectivist ethos. These cultural differences extend to global engagement, with Canada often acting as a peacekeeper, while the US takes on a more interventionist role. Such disparities in identity make the notion of merging into a cohesive whole nearly inconceivable. Economically, the US and Canada are deeply interconnected. The United States is Canada's largest trading partner, and agreements like the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, exemplify their close cooperation. However, this interdependence is precisely why a merger is unnecessary. Both nations benefit from collaboration without surrendering sovereignty. Canada's vast natural resources, oil, timber, freshwater, and access to the Arctic make it an attractive partner, but also a point of potential contention. Trump's recent comments hint at strategic interests, such as gaining greater control over Arctic maritime routes or leveraging natural resources. While outright unification seems implausible, economic pressures and geopolitical negotiations could lead to renewed discussions about resource access and control. Despite its implausibility, the idea of a US-Canada merger has appeared repeatedly throughout history. During the War of 1812, annexationist sentiments rose among certain factions, though they never materialized. Later, Irish-American groups like the Fenian Brotherhood attempted destabilizing raids into Canada, hoping to force its annexation by the US. More recent proposals, like political commentator William Weld's satirical Can America idea, highlight the enduring curiosity around this notion. However, these discussions rarely gain traction due to the overwhelming public opposition in both nations. Ultimately, the enduring partnership between the United States and Canada serves as a testament to the strength of coexistence. Their collaboration on trade, security, and environmental issues demonstrates how two nations can thrive together without sacrificing their unique identities. Trump's remarks, while provocative, may hint at broader strategic objectives rather than genuine interest in unification. As neighbors, the US and Canada benefit from their differences, proving that harmonious coexistence can be more powerful than forced unity. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and thank you for joining us here on Pearls of Time.